Hey, welcome back to today's video. What I want to talk about is some of workout enthusiasts' favorite thing to talk about and favorite thing to chase, and that is the pump. So we're going to talk all about chasing the pump, and I want to talk about my methods of how I have found the best way for me to get a pump. So starting off, what is the pump? It's the feeling you get when you work out, typically when you do a lot of reps at a decent load, maybe a 20, let's just give an example, a 20 rep max of a weight or close to maximum 20 reps, 15 reps for multiple sets, and you start to accumulate that real full feeling where your muscles just feel like they're filling up with blood, filling up with water. They just feel really tight. Your skin feels tight, and we call that the pump. And it is a super cool thing to experience when you're working out. It can be highly addictive and super fun. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting in a good workout. Some folks, it's a common misconception that you have to get a pump in order to have an effective workout. When in fact, you can get hypertrophy gains or AKA muscle growth without too much of a pump. And you can also definitely gain strength and endurance without the pump as well, to a certain extent, depending on what your goals are. But the pump is super fun, and I love chasing the pump. Right now I'm doing bodybuilding workouts, and I'm really just having fun with lifting and trying to gain some muscle. And so chasing the pump is something that I really look forward to right now. So I've been experimenting with my best formula for chasing the pump here over the past few months. So I want to share that with you. So there are two really main elements to, truthfully, one main element to getting a pump when it comes to preparing for the pump outside of the gym, right? So I guess I'd say there's two really main elements. Number one is hydration. And hydration has a lot of elements built into that. There's a lot of things that make up hydration, but you definitely want your body to be hydrated and have plenty of carbohydrate stores as well. You want your glycogen levels topped off, and that ties into hydration. So you want your muscles, you don't want your glycogen stores depleted. When you work out, or your muscles store glycogen, which is carbohydrates, in their stored form in the muscle. When you work out really hard, it depletes those glycogen levels, and glycogen is released into the bloodstream. And so when you work out, it'll deplete down those glycogen muscles. If you want the best pump possible, you want those glycogen stores really topped off, and you want the muscle super hydrated. And so you need to have had plenty of water, electrolytes, and carbohydrates. So that's like the main element to getting a pump, is getting the body hydrated properly through water, electrolytes, and carbohydrates. Then after that, in the gym, you want to be in certain rep ranges when you're working out. And ideally for me, when I'm chasing the pump, I want to get pretty close to failure in those rep ranges. For me, it's really somewhere around the 7 to 8 rep range, and all the way up to 25 reps. If I'm going close to failure in those rep ranges for multiple sets on end, I will very quickly begin to experience a pump. Now, sometimes in the lower rep ranges, like 5, I'll experience a good pump if I am doing really slow lowers and slow eccentrics and slow reps. So a lot of time under tension, I'll experience that pump as well. But for me, anywhere between the 7-8 reps to 25 rep range, and for as little as 2 sets for that exercise, and I can start to feel the pump. As I get into the 3rd and 4th set, usually that pump will really peak. And then as I start to get into like 8, 9, 10 sets, for me, usually the pump starts to die off and wear off. So a couple things to keep. So here's my process. If I wanted, let's say tomorrow, I wanted to achieve the very best pump possible, very best pump possible. What I'm going to do is today I'm going to avoid alcohol. I'm not going to have any alcohol today or tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that I'm pretty hydrated today. I'm going to keep drinking my fluids, keep drinking my water, keep drinking my electrolytes, and make sure that I'm very hydrated today. And then when tomorrow, try to get, of course, a good night's sleep. Now tomorrow, I'm going to, of course, stay hydrated, maybe still consume one liquid IV electrolyte packet. And I'm going to make sure I have at least 2 meals before my workout. For me, I've just found that with no meals, the pump is quite a bit less. If I have 1 meal, the pump's a little better than no meals, but it's not quite as good as 2 or 3 meals. If I have had 2 or 3 meals, I notice that my pump is drastically better after 2 or 3 meals, which makes sense because there's more hydration, more food, more carbohydrates, more energy. So I'm going to have a meal in the morning. I'm going to typically, if I'm really going after the pump, I'm going to have a low-fat meal. I'm going to have carbohydrates. I might have like an apple. I might have some oatmeal and a whole wheat bagel, and some egg whites, protein shake. Make sure I get in my protein, my carbohydrates. Pretty low fat. So I'm going to probably get in anywhere between 60 to 100 grams of carbohydrates. I'm going to get in my 40 to 60 grams of protein. And I'm going to try to keep that fat pretty low. I'm going to try not to, not to go over 10 to 20 grams of fat, depending. And that's coming from somebody that's 195 pounds. So I'm going to avoid the fats a little bit. And then for my lunch, I'm going to keep lunch about the same, identical. And I'm going to try to eat my lunch an hour to 2 hours before my workout. And then in preparation for the workout, of course, through that whole time, I'm drinking water, maybe drinking an electrolyte packet mixed in through there. And then as I get really close to that workout, when I'm about 45 minutes out from the workout, I'll take 1,000 milligrams of arginine. I got 1 pill of L-arginine. I'll take it, get 1,000 milligrams of arginine in the system. And then for me, 15 to 30 minutes before my workout, I will take in this Bucked Up. And right now, Bucked Up is my favorite pre-workout. It just seems to have the right blend for me of what I need. And so I'll dive into that just a little bit. I mean, for one, it does taste fantastic, but one I'm really looking for is citrulline. I want L-citrulline, which you can buy L-citrulline separate, not in a pre-workout. You can buy all the stuff and a lot of times in the past, sometimes I won't use pre-workout, right? Sometimes I will just use the citrulline and the arginine, and that's it. So to me, the carbohydrates, the water, the hydration, the electrolytes, and then the arginine and the citrulline, those are like primary, okay? Everything else that's in the pre-workout is just kind of secondary. So I'll go into that a little bit. So the citrulline, malate, there's 6,000 milligrams in a serving of this. That's bringing a massive amount of pump. That's what's really helping to get all the blood flow to your muscles. Then beta-alanine, that's more for endurance. That's going to help you squeeze out more reps, which is going to help you essentially get more pump too, right? Then you got your caffeine. That's going to just make you more aggressive, give you more energy, help you get more reps as well. Alpha GPC for focus. That's a nootropic. Your taurine, that's going to help your endurance. Your rock salt, electrolyte, all right, hydration. And then it's got some ginseng and stuff like that, which, is going to help focus and drive and all that. But the main thing there is that citrulline. That's going to really drive that pump, and that beta-alanine helps you get those extra reps. Of course, I take creatine as well, which does hydrate the muscle. I take creatine monohydrate. That helps me get a few extra reps as well. When you put all that together, man, it makes for an extreme pump. I am telling you, you get that sugar in you, and in the middle of my workout, if I start to feel that pump dying off a little bit, I'll hit a few Sour Patch Kids. I'll get some sugar. I'll keep drinking water through the workout and keeping that hydration going, keeping those glycogen, keeping that blood sugar in. And man, I will have the best pump that I ever had with that formula. Now, if you take out certain elements, like you drink alcohol the night before, or you don't really hydrate much the day before, you don't have carbohydrates, all those things, it weakens that pump dramatically. When you put all that together, and the key things are hydrating, getting your water, getting your electrolytes, getting in your carbohydrates, keeping those glycogen stores topped off. So that means eating enough carbohydrates for your activity levels. You don't want those glycogen levels depleted. If you do a keto diet and you try to chase the pump, you will notice immediately how hard it is to chase that pump, to get that pump and that fullness without carbohydrates, because that's what's really filling up those muscles. And then topping that off with hitting that citrulline and that arginine pre-workout in order to just help get some blood flow and increase that pump. Those are my main things. I know some people are adding glycerol. That is something that is very new to me. That glycerol is something, dang, I hit the thing. Glycerol is something that is very new to me, and I want to give it a try. I haven't tried it yet, but at some point I'm going to give it a try, and I'm going to post about it. But let me know how you achieve your best pump, how you get your best pump. Love to know what your favorite pre-workout is. I'd love to hear all your combinations in the comments of what you do. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, whatever, please drop them in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in and watching. See you on the next one.